Chevre, how are you? I hope everyone is gesund, stark und freilich begashmis und beruchnis. Healthy, strong, and happy physically and spiritually. Today we'll discuss a thought for the week, Parshas Lecha. As usual, we'll start with a pasuk from the Rebbe's kapitel, which this pasuk is related directly to this week's parsha, which has the mitzvah of milah, circumcision. And the pasuk is pasuk kuf samach daled of kapitel kuf yutes. Sas anoichi al imrosecho kimoitzei shalol rov, which is translated as I rejoice over your saying, like one who finds much booty. So, what does it mean? Imrosecha, your saying, what is that referring to? So Rashi says that this is referring to the commandment Rabbi Seinu darshu al hamilah. This refers to the mitzvah of circumcision. Shahaya David beveis hamerchatz. He brings down a famous episode in the life of David HaMelech. One time David was in the bathhouse. V'ra atzmei b'lei tzitzis u'b'lei tefillin. He saw himself without tzitzis and without tefillin. U'b'lei Torah and without Torah. Omar oili, he said, woe is to me. He was naked. Shani orim mikol mitzvahs, I am bare of all commandments. Kivin shenistakel b'milah samach. But when he realized that he's circumcised, he was overjoyed. V'omar b'tzeisai, and when he left the bathhouse, he says, Sosa neichi alim rasecha hamilah. I rejoice over your saying, and that refers to the commandment of circumcision, because shemetchila nitna b'maimer v'loi b'dibur shenemar v'yemer elikim el Avraham v'ata es brisi sishmer. So the word used in the Torah to describe this commandment is not dibur, not speaking, but he said. So in this week's parsha, it speaks about the mitzvah of Hashem's commanding Avram to circumcise himself. And we find something very interesting connected to this, that his name is changed. Before he had the circumcision, his name was Avram, without a hey, and then his name is changed to Avraham. And there's many, all the commentators speak about how important it is based, this significance, based on the verse itself, which when Hashem changed his name, Hashem says, V'loi kori oides shimcha Avram, v'hoya shimcha Avraham. He says, from now on, you should not be called Avram. You must be called Avraham. So the question is, why is it so important? First of all, it's just one letter. One letter means so much. And second of all, why is that we say you shouldn't be called with that name? You must be called with this new name. So I'm going to just mention it very shortly and briefly. The idea is as follows. Sometimes when we speak about a change, we have small changes, incremental, baby steps. Sometimes we say it's a new world. It's a total transformative experience, a leap. And this is what it means over here. The new name of Avraham with a hey represents the transformation that Avram went through circumcision, through this mitzvah. In other words, as we saw in the Rashi that it said before, the mitzvah of milah is not an action. It's not something you do. It changes your whole identity. It's with you 24/7. Only the fact that David HaMelech was circumcised caused him to have joy no matter where, no matter when. He is someone who is circumcised. His bond, his covenant, his connection, his unification with Hashem is 24/7 in such a way that it's evident in the physical. And this is why, one of the explanations of why the mitzvah of milah is so awesome and so amazing, because it represents the quintessential mitzvah in the fact that it permeates the physical and the change is there forever and it transforms it. And now we understand also the meaning of the hay. There's many explanations. Rashi brings down the hay represents the 5 limbs and organs of the person that previously Avram did not have full control, but now he had control. But I think one simple way to remember it is that the Hey is the Hey of Hashem's name. There's a medrash that says, Eila Toldis Hashemayim v'haaretz behei barim. This is the history, the chronicle of the world as Hashem created it. And behei barim also means Hey, that Hashem created the worlds with His name, with His letter Hey. But there's a medrash that says that Eila Toldis Hashemayim v'haaretz behei barim. The word behei barim, Hey barim is b'schus Avraham. The letters, Hey Baram, is the letters of Avraham. So we see the connection between the Hey of Behei Baram connected to Avraham. And it says in other places too, that this Hey represents how God invests Himself, puts Himself into man. In other words, until the circumcision, everything that Avraham does is man elevating himself to God. That is possible for humans. But then there's the Jew. And what's a Jew? What makes a Jew unique? That God chose the Jews. And this is the significance of the Hey of Hashem that He puts into Abraham, and the fact that He commands him to be circumcised, because this represents the uniqueness and the specialty of the Jew, as explained in other Svarim, that there's Doimim Tzemeh Chai Medaber. When Avraham becomes circumcised, we elevate, we evolved from humans to Jews. And the Doimim Tzemeh Chai Medaber, inanimate vegetation, animal kingdom, and humans, that represents 4 elements of creation. But then there's the Jew, who's a Chelik Elikah Mimal Mamish. God gives to every single Jew a neshama, a part of himself. And that's representative of the name, of the letter Hey of Hashem that He gave Avraham. And this is also what the pasuk says after, when he's giving the commandment to circumcise himself. The pasuk says, "V'heyei samim," you should be perfect. So this is a whole new level. It's not something additive. It's not something in addition, another step. It's a whole new world. So sometimes we say that, there was where you were yesterday, there's where you are today, and tomorrow you'll be a bit further. Fine. But then, like we said before, we say it's a whole new being. And this is the lesson in this week's Parsha, and about the mitzvah of Milah, that sometimes it's not only enough to make a resolution to change a bit, and sometimes we do speak like that, but on the other hand, sometimes we say, let's go big or go home. Make a big resolution to change in a big way, and you have the power to do it. This joke, it's a foolish joke, but it's an old joke, that there was a priest and there was a minister and a rabbi, and they were discussing, what's the best religion. The priest and the minister, I don't exactly know, thank God, about the differences, but there's certain different opinions in Catholicism about exactly what you're meant to do. Anyways, the priest and the minister and the rabbi used to get together. They taught in the same university, and they were sitting together and they were discussing which is the best religion. And they decided they're going to have a contest. They're going to see who's going to be able to convert a bear. Okay, so they decide they're going to the woods, and we'll see whoever succeeds in converting the bear proves that their religion is the best. Anyways, the priest goes out. 2 hours later, he comes back. He says, no problem. I went into the woods. I saw a bear, and I just sprinkled some water on him, and I read him from the book, and it's all good. Okay, they're waiting a couple of hours, and the minister's not coming back. But after like 10 hours, finally the minister comes out of the woods, and he turns to the people that knew about this contest, and he comes out, but he comes out in a wheelchair, and he has a cast on both arms, and he says, yeah, I met a bear, but we don't believe in just sprinkling some water. He's got to be baptized. We got to put him dunk him in the river. Yeah, but the bear didn't want to listen to me. So I started wrestling a bear, and we went up one hill and down another hill until we fell into a creek, and I dunked him. So obviously he got injured and wounded because of this wrestling with the bear. By now it's already a whole day. The rabbi still hasn't returned. They make a search party with helicopters, and they find the rabbi leaning against a tree, and he's bleeding from all sides. He's seriously, seriously injured. And they say, what happened? He says, I guess I shouldn't have started with circumcision. So it's a foolish joke. But you know what? Guess what? We do start with circumcision. This is the awesomeness of Yiddishkeit. When a baby is 8 days old, he's circumcised because circumcision is real, it's deep, it's transformational. It changes your identity and it remains forever. As we spoke many times, the idea of essence to essence. And this is what it means when we say we actually start with circumcision. Because Judaism is the deepest thing that changes the person forever and puts him into another whole league. We're not only humans, we're Jews. It's a whole different essence. There's a famous word that the Friedrich Rebbe brings in many sichas. And sometimes it's said that this was what the chassid Reb Gershon Ber Pahar used to say every night. Before he went to sleep, he would say, Morgen darf ich aufstehen ganz anders. Tomorrow I have to get up completely different. So what's the word? He didn't say Morgen darf ich aufstehen a bissel anders. He didn't say tomorrow I have to get up slightly different, a bit different. No. He would say Morgen darf ich aufstehen ganz anders. Tomorrow I have to change altogether. So my blessing to you all is that every once in a while we should make such resolutions, not be scared. You're unpredictable. You have awesome powers. Don't always think of taking baby steps. Think of going to sleep at night and saying, Morgen wird man aufstehen ganz anders. Tomorrow we'll endeavor to get up, to wake up completely different. And we should be successful, go out of our nature, go out of our habits, go out of our previous way of thinking, and make a radical move, a revolutionary move, like Avram Avinu with the bris. And if we do that, Hashem will do also, similarly, a revelational move, a revolutionary move, a radical move, and bring the Gula Mitzvah Shlema, take it from Yad Mamish, now. Good Shabbos, posting from my home, Be'ez Hashem Yisborech, your man in Melbourne.